So it is 7:05. So we'll call this meeting to order. And I will do a quick roll call. Karen Waters.
Here.
Here. Brian Allen.
Present.
Present. I won't call Michael. Alfredo Castillo is absent and Oscar Jimenez is present. Here I am. So excellent. Hopefully you guys all had a great Thanksgiving. So it's hard to believe that we're past that and moving on to Christmas and New Year's. Wow.
Well, COVID is still here.
I told my wife that January started last week, didn't we?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
and it's still summertime. Look at this weather. It's amazing.
Gosh, no
I think it's going to be 70, 80 degrees on Christmas.
Yeah.
Good grief.
I think the New Year's parade, everybody will be there in shorts.
Yeah, the Christmas parade is going to be gorgeous. We don't have to worry about rain this time, So
right.
It was, yeah.
That's not a bad idea. I'll wear some red shorts. That's pretty good.
The Santa Claus Lane parade, that already happened. It happened last Sunday.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, to match the red Hummer, right, Oscar?
Right.
The guy's so nice. Oh my gosh, he's adorable. He is so sweet. Yeah. So.
No, that should be cool. That should be fun.
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's do this then. Public comment on non-agenda items limited to 1 minute.
Anybody here?
Anyone?
No.
Bueller?
There's
Nobody.
Only three people total.
Wow. Okay. So then we'll move on to item 3 to formulate the agenda for the December 7th board meeting. Is there anything here that I've missed? I will add the NPG for Andrew Crown. And then what else?
There was something else that I was thinking about, and I didn't get a chance to get it off to you guys. I can't remember at the moment.
The MER, well, we should have the November MER by then, right? Because
yes,
it's day 7.
Both the October and November. I just I'll send out the October right away. It's now available. I just pulled it down, and the November. I'm not sure what's happening. Well, I already did it, so everything's up to date if they accept everything, so it should be okay.
Okay.
So we should have it because we're on the 7th, and it should be available on the 5th, which means I can get it on the 6th. 5th is a Sunday.
Okay. Right. Yep. Okay. So then I did get your email also, Brian, as far as the council grievance. What are they calling it? The regional grievance panelists.
They're asking for every council to have a individual submitted to the grievance panel, shall we say, selection group, so that they can handle the grievances that are out there. And I understand there's quite a few grievances. And we haven't selected one. I meant to do this a long time ago, put my name in the hat. So I have just put my name in the hat.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had actually this came up before, earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And I emailed. I talked to John. I talked to Matt Biasia about it, and he mentioned it to John, and John and Raquel had discussed it because although it's wonderful for Brian to put his head in the hat, or
hat in the ring.
Hat in the ring. But I said, this is a peer, it's just like reviewing a coworker. It's like doing a sort of like a performance review or write-up of a coworker. And the people are nuts. I mean, I hate to be so, but let's just call it what it is. There is a lot of unhinged board members. There's one board, I can't remember where it is, that's completely suspended, and Dunn is running it because they harassed people. It's really out of control. So for us to put ourselves into a position to be reviewing, these things, it just seems that as the previous recommendation, the Arts, Parks, and Neighborhoods Committee that John oversees, who oversees the neighborhood councils, should be the ones to deal with that.
Well,
is this supposed to be sorry, Brian, back to what you were saying, Karen, so that the individual councils and Cs are overseeing their members? Is that what this is
no,
for?
no, it is,
Okay.
there are, each council has been asked to submit one person to this group of grievance panel uh, 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 group, so that when a grievance is heard, they select from that panel X amount. I think it's 3 or 4
Yeah.
people,
I see.
and you would never have anything to do with your own
Okay. For
NC,
conflict. Makes
and
sense.
most likely they would try to keep you out of a an NC that's in your region, but that's not necessarily going to happen. I can't tell you that. I'm not
Right.
on it. I've just heard some things and talked to some people, but I know Glenn is on it. Uh, there's probably a lot of people I know that are on it, but I just felt that it was because I'm very concerned with the NC system as a whole. I'm very concerned that they get people on there that are going to be fair-minded. And one of the things that I have recognized is my friend, and I think you know who it is extremely closed-minded to things. And I would hate to see him on that panel. But unfortunately, I mean, he is a friend, and unfortunately, there are too many people with preconceived ideas as to how they want to support. And so I was going to put my hat in the ring this time because I see that there is a need. One of the things that I'm concerned with is, and I don't know why it's coming up now, but I'm concerned that the handling of the NCs is going a little bit astray. If you look at, and as you know, my concern for the anti-bias training was never there. I didn't think it was that important. I still don't. However, I do understand where some people go off the rails. So my position was, it's a ruling that has been made. We've been told to do it. So we should do it. Without question, we should do it. If you want to bitch about it, go ahead, bitch about it afterwards. You have a right to do that, but you don't have a right to just ignore it. And I did a complete review of all 99 NCs. I'll send it to you guys. And as of yesterday, not today, because today there's been some changes, but and I'm going to update it again. But I saw 16% of the 1,500 plus members of the NCs who had taken the anti-bias training. 16%.
Yeah.
That's appalling. I mean,
it is, and they're out of control. I don't think you were on the Lank meeting. I know Oscar wasn't there, and I don't think you were there, Brian, when this came up. And it was, I mean, I'm just going to go there. It concerned me that in this system, sometimes we work with other neighborhood councils for different projects and things like that. And I'm gonna say it right now. I told Raquel, I have no interest in working with any neighborhood council board member throughout the system who won't take the training, because they feel, especially after reviewing the training too, it puts out that, look, I don't want to work with you if you don't feel that I'm equal or should have, or, that I'm what I say matters just because my skin is a different color. I mean, that's absurd. But obviously they are pushing one neighborhood council. I think it was Kathleen Edwards. I don't remember which neighborhood council she's from. Not a surprise, but she said, who's going to make us, and how are they going to make me? Well, like with any other training, I don't know why this is so complicated. If they don't take the training and they vote for, let's say, an NPD, it won't be funded.
It won't be valid.
Yep. Yeah, I was going to make a suggestion, and I probably will do this, to Bonk, to Lee, and to Raquel, that if they didn't have, if no NC had enough people to field a quorum of individuals who have taken the training, then they should be suspended until they have taken the training.
Yeah.
I don't think the city has the balls, excuse me for my language, to do that. But I think it is the proper thing to do. It's a rule. It should be enforced, and it's unfortunate. But as of today, there's like 5 or 6 that can now field.
Wow. Out of 99.
Yeah, out of 99, exactly.
Wow. I mean, going back to what you're saying, Brian, while some don't agree with it, I mean, it's a requirement and it needs to be done. And to carry your point, I mean, if they don't have quorum, then they shouldn't be allowed to vote on anything, right?
Right.
But it's no different than any other stuff that I hate to say that government imposes on us, and whether we like it or not. I mean, but it's done for a reason. There was a reason why things came up. I mean, right? There's a reason why we have stop signs. There's a reason why we have signal lights. I mean, it's called just having some level of consistency and control. But anyway,
that's going away, because even in stoplights and stop signs and etc., they're not enforcing the rules. I mean, I talked to, as you know, I'm on CPAD, and I've talked to the police about the fact that they're not even stopping people. Nobody's getting stopped for having dark tinted side windows.
Yeah,
it's against the law.
Yeah, it was a fix-it ticket, so yeah.
It's unsafe for the police. So why isn't it being enforced? Why aren't these rules and laws being enforced? It makes no sense to me, and it's dangerous. And every day now I'm on the road and I'm seeing people do crazy things on the road, and I'm sitting back saying, I don't want to go outside my house because it's dangerous to do that.
Well, yeah.
I'm exaggerating, but you know.
Yeah, but you make a valid point. I mean, look.
Well, look at the smash and grabs. It's out of control. The smash and grabs.
Absolutely.
It's absurd. Did you see the couple? I don't know. They were having dinner on Melrose, and 2 guys walked up to them in this. It was like an outdoor cafe type.
Right.
I forgot the name of it. Wing something. And they just walked up to this couple, held a gun on them, and just very quiet and quick. And they had to hand over their watches and wallets and other things
in broad daylight, and no way to stop them.
And it's going on in Beverly Hills. I mean, it is. I mean, it's now gotten to the point where, the next time this is coming around, as you might have heard, the $200 million that's being requested by the police commission, I think it is, back to the city council to approve. The refund of the defund is what I personally call it, but we need order. This city, the country, this nonsense about defunding the police. Raheem said, when we reviewed the CIS, our neighborhood council position, Raheem said that day, and he reminded me 2 days ago, I said that there was going to be lawlessness if this went through, and that's exactly what's happening, because they know that no one's going to do anything. So they're going in here, although obviously insurance would go up and the price will pass on to the consumer. But it's insane what's going on. It's insane what's going on. So the domino effect of that is everything else we're facing. To Brian's point, nothing is being done about anything. I mean, it's just completely.
Yeah, it's going to get to anarchy and vigilantism, and
and then we're going to have RoboCops.
Yeah, then we'll have RoboCops. Well, at least
I want a RoboCop for my house.
At least they won't ignore the law.
That'll be next, right? Because it's going to be scripted in their DNA. It's going to be part of the program.
I want my own RoboCop.
So, yeah. Now you're talking about iRobot.
Yeah, well, mine goes around the floor, but that's all it does.
All right, so I will put that on there on the agenda then, Brian, as a motion discussion to appoint you as that person. Okay.
Well, open it up. Be careful with that, because we'll get called out.
You have to allow other people to apply.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will put that on there.
Discussion and motion to appoint a GHNNC representative for the grievance panel.
Right.
And hopefully we'll hear back from Matt and we'll have some other information. But for now,
Yeah, CD12 is not going to take it over. I guarantee it. And I also can guarantee...
They shouldn't, but they're getting paid to do, the Parks Committee.
I know, but they're only one area out of 15, and they wouldn't be able to take over the entire city. So I think that's wishful thinking, and it's a good idea. Don't get me wrong, but we can't handle the stuff that we have going on in the city. I doubt that that's going to happen.
But the parks, all those committees are for the whole city, right? I mean, just, I'm not arguing the point. I'm just saying that like all of them, the homeless committee and the parks committee and all these committees, they're for the entire city, not just their district.
They are, but they don't have a ongoing relationship with all areas at all times.
I see.
And as you know, the Lee's committee, half the meetings are not met. Half of them are canceled.
Right.
So it would surprise me if he took over that operation, because he doesn't have the manpower, he doesn't have the funding for it. Unfortunately, Raquel does, but she doesn't actually have the manpower for it either, and that's why they jobbed it out to the councils themselves and hope that they can help. And that's one of the things that the councils have a duty to do, is to support the city. Now, this is a strange situation, because there shouldn't be this much disruption, but unfortunately there is. I go to a lot of NCs, or have gone to a lot more in the past, and there's a lot of dissension out there. I mean, it's you go to Lank, so you know that there's
there's a lot. Yeah.
And and we've got 1,745. I think it's we have a total of 1,745 authorized board members. We have 1,537 seated board members. That's an enormous shortfall. Now, 5 of those are on our NC altogether, because we have positions that aren't filled. So it's hard to recognize that the NCs are going to be of much value unless they can get more participation. And surprisingly, the only NC that is completely up to date as far as training and board members is Northwestwood, which is UCLA.
Yeah. They're a sharp bunch. I've spoken to them before. But anyway, go ahead, Oscar.
Let's move on then. So let's see, we get past executive committee, and that one, like I said, I'll add the MPG thing. Treasury report, I think we're covered there. Brian.
Yep.
Plum, nothing to report. There was no meeting. Emergency preparedness, same. Citywide issues committee report, there's nothing there. And I need to somehow, Brian, I think you're on that committee too, right?
What committee?
The Citywide Issues Committee.
Yes.
So if you can kind of lend a hand to Sid as far as the postings go, because in order for Dunn and or Aaron to post the agendas, they have to be in PDF. And
the reason it didn't get posted last time is, for some reason, Sid thought I was going to post it, and he'd asked me to convert it, so I converted it. I gave him 2 sources, 2 types. I gave him a PDF version, an Adobe version, and a Word version.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he didn't file it because he was thinking I was going to file it. Okay. So that's why that didn't happen. It didn't happen.
No,
so.
And so unfortunately, I did call him and told him that unfortunately that meeting could not move forward because it wasn't posted on Dunn. It wasn't posted on the website. He did indicate that it was posted at the park, however, not at the site or location that we've chosen. He says there's another place that he posted. There's another board over there, and he posted it there because he's concerned for his physical well-being, because I guess going to that board where we have it by the child, the play center, right? Playground. I guess he's concerned that there's too lumpy, and so he doesn't want to run the risk of falling down. So
you can ask somebody to post it for him.
Yeah, I'll talk to him and see if I can't intercede with him on that.
Okay, yeah, so if you could, only because I don't want to keep, unfortunately, canceling his meetings, because then he's probably going to think that I just don't want his meetings to move forward, but that's not the case. We have to make sure that we adhere to the Brown Act, because
I do believe he understands that.
There's a lot at stake there. So, okay. And outreach, boy, Karen. So let me see.
So everything's self-explanatory on number 3, because that's really the only one.
I was going to say.
That it will, if I don't have them by Thursday, then that's coming off, because we can always do it next month. It was presented to us by Tara that
Okay.
there are
5 schools
families within our schools that have food insecurity. And overall, there are people from Granada Hills that are using the food banks more. So there is some food insecurity issues. But I sent it off to Elise Rudin and to Raquel. How do we do this correctly? And Elise said the way you do it, of course, is go through a school and get the MPG. So that way, we discussed in the outreach meeting that instead of us deciding anything, we will just go with those schools and have the principals make the decision based on on who applied for it. So that takes it. So we're just doing our good faith, and then they take it from there.
Okay, so basically we're still on hold until if hopefully everything comes in on Thursday,
right.
but
Well,
then we have to make sure everything.
Right.
But we also have to make sure everything's in order too, and hopefully we have time to turn it around. The other question on that one is who's going to be presenting those if everything's in order? Is it going to be Tara or is it going to be?
Yeah, I told Tara what we just the standard operating procedure, which I think she knows, but I reminded her, is that we would appreciate if the principal, assistant principal, someone from each school present their NPG. I mean, it should be pretty straightforward, but it's up to them, to decide. So we have it there. It's up to them to deliver, and the ball's in their court. So, and then with the street fair, I mean, not the street fair, the
shred
event.
Yeah.
The girl didn't call me back, Ryan. So it's about $12.95 now, right? That's why I put that round number on there.
I don't know, but if you want me to, I'll go over there.
Okay.
I've gone over there to see him before, and I've paid the bill over there, so I can go over there and see if I can catch them while they're there. I have to do it in the morning.
Okay, all right. So they had everything. They confirmed it. They said, "Oh, you and Brian both called." I'm like, "Okay, good."
Who's this from the shredding company or St. Euphrasia?
On off shredding.
Okay.
And Brian's, Michael's contact confirmed to him that the date. So we, but going back, I'm moving around on this for a reason. On item number 2. What we discussed as the outreach committee, and I'll make this very, very quick, and Brian agreed with it, and Oscar, we've discussed it as well. We are going to just take the simple approach with any event that we have, that we will encourage staffing and participation. If we don't get enough, we have the room to cancel an event and to allow for someone else to take that space. That space. If it's something like the street fair, the street fair, for example, or the disaster fair, we will contribute. Usually we fund something. So whether or not we are physically present, we still have, given a contribution. But it's just not fair. Brian's out there, we've got the pop-up out, and we have the same people all the time.
No, I agree. I completely agree. So
well, it's always true that in any group, you got a handful of people that participate, and the rest are sheep. Just the way it is.
Although we at the street fair, I was actually very shocked that, with the exception of three people, actually 3 people, everyone was there. Even my Greenwall. Everyone came through. All day we had different board members there. So, and then the people who didn't actually participate still were there, in spirit, came by the booth and represented. So we had, out of 17 people, we just had 3 that couldn't make it. So that was not bad.
Yep.
Okay. And then
I want to actually go back to item 4, Karen, because I just want to make sure logistically things are in place. So St. Euphrasia's has been confirmed. The shredding company has been confirmed.
Yes.
What about the event form? Have we submitted the event form for that? Because that is something that is supposed to be done, right?
We voted on that. Did we do that when we voted on it, Brian? Because we voted. Remember, we voted on it pending the fund. We would do the funds at a different time.
What's the date of this again?
December 18th.
I didn't present the form. I don't think. I don't remember doing it.
Okay. But we approved it. Yeah.
We can pull it down, and the event's been approved. But I'll pull down the event form and get a hold of Paola. It shouldn't be a problem.
Okay. Let's. I mean, just want to make sure that we're covered, because God, especially if something should happen and.
Yes, no, we have to have that done.
So, okay.
Absolutely.
So that was the one thing with that one. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So go on, Karen. Sorry.
Okay, no, that's fine. And then the other ones are very straightforward. Just the wildfire defense. What's happening? Cal Fire is actually positioned, which I didn't have at the time I wrote this down. But you know, there's different resources going on, and we're still working on more. And then just a recap of the year and 2022. Everyone's encouraged to offer any ideas that they have. And then number 8, obviously, we will not be having a meeting because we'll be having the shred event, and we will be having our outreach meetings on an as needed basis going forward, not necessarily every month, but just as is needed, because we just found it just really wasn't necessary time wise. So we will, if there's something comes up or something's going on, we can absolutely do it, but we're just trying to be respectful of everyone's time and be efficient as well.
Fair enough. Okay, Public Safety Committee report. Actually, there, I should mention that Nathan Lee is honorary chair. I think that's what he called himself.
Well, he's a fast learner, though. I gave him. I took a morning with him and put a couple, gave him a couple trainings on the agenda. And he did one with the Word, came back, put it on the PDF, posted it, and he was done. So he'll be fine.
Okay. No, I mean, I know he is. I mean, he's a smart guy, but it's funny because I was on that. Or I should say I was at the meeting, but I listened to the recording the day after, and so that's when Michael announced his, that he was leaving, and they were looking to find someone, and they kind of put Nathan in the corner, if you will. And he's like, I'll be honorary chair for now. And see. So I'm like, okay, that works. All right. So I'll put that on there. And then I think everything else is pretty straightforward. So if there's anything else that you guys think I should add or we should add, if not, then we'll just move on to committee member announcements. And so
yeah, take out that first adjourn.
No, I know that's always confusing. Well, no, because that's part of what's going to go on the agenda for the, I'll take it out. Okay, fine. I mean, we know it goes on there anyway. All right.
Exactly.
Okay. So, Brian, do you have any announcements?
I think I did initially, but I can't think. I'm trying to remember if I have anything more. I can't think of what it was. I was going to say something but no, I have nothing. Nothing I haven't already said, I guess.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
I've always got something, but sometimes it's better not to say it.
Well, if you think about it, you can always.
Yeah. You can always text us or something.
Right.
All right, Karen, you're up.
Yes. I just want to say that this is actually our last executive meeting for the year, so it's been fun.
Is it?
This is our last executive. Oh no, it's not. I'm sorry.
We have December still. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I think there's one more at the end of December.
Don't be rushing it. December is going to be towards the end, huh?
That's true.
It's going to be during the holiday break.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. So the question becomes: do we want to? Well, we have to have it if we're going to have the board meeting.
Not necessarily.
Well, that's true because I could just make the agenda.
Mm-hmm. You could, because I'll be off that week. I think that end of the month. But okay. I think it's just easier just to do it that way. What do you think, Brian?
It doesn't matter to me. As long as we can keep the crew together and moving forward, I don't really care.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. So all I was going to say is that I expect to have from Council District 12 from the City of Los Angeles for Michael, and then from the Assembly Member's Office. And hopefully the chamber. It's a little bit of an odd time because they're working on the parade, but hopefully at least Mr. Ciccarelli will be calling in, and they'll follow up with some sort of document, and they will mail them to his home since he's,
Oh, that's awesome.
no longer in the area. So,
Right.
so at least 3. I tried for the Senate as well, but I haven't heard back from them yet.
From Miss Rivas? Oh no, she's
No,
she's
I heard from Assembly.
Assembly.
He's working on it, and
Yeah.
Matt's working on it. I know those two are in work
Okay.
for sure. The chamber called me, but with Betty dying, it really, there's a lot she had in her head, and they're kind of struggling to put some stuff together because it wasn't written down anywhere, and there's like certain things are just not there. So.
Yeah, we have issues with some of the city organized groups. They're just not really together.
Yeah.
When I say city, I mean the township of Granada Hills. It's a rough patch. I mean, you wouldn't believe it if I told you everything. It's crazy.
Oh wow. Well, thank God we're very coordinated and efficient with our NC.
Yeah. It looks like we're the only NC. People keep contacting us because they can't reach the other one.
Well, I don't know what's happening there. You're right. We are constantly getting questions from, and I'm glad we're getting questions from people in Granada Hills, but they don't understand that there's 2 Granada Hills NCs, and they're coming to us, and we're the only ones responding to them. So
yeah. Well, what I did, just so you know, if it's something that's dangerous, I just go ahead and forward it to whoever it's involved.
That makes sense.
Oh, you did the right thing on that one. Did you look up that address though? Because I hadn't responded simply because I wasn't
the grow
sure
house?
where that address was.
I did. So you know what it is? The house, the pot house, is on the garage is on the Dawn Mess. The house is on Pettit. So what happened is when you look at the driveway of the neighbor, she's not kidding. The garage and their driveway is like connected practically.
Yeah.
So I could see it. So what I did was I did file a report with the sheriff's department, and they said, you go online and you put in what the problem is, and how can we help you? And I just did as stakeholder, notified us of such and such and such. Here's the address, and it sends you back up like a response. Thank you for filing your message has been received or whatever. So that's like a clean way to do it, and then they can take it from there, and we'll see what happens. And then I forwarded one to sellers as well, so we're out of it.
Well, that's good. And I'm surprised that Granada Hills South is not capable of getting involved in these things. Otherwise, I'd suggest that we send it to them so they're aware. But they're pretty bad right now. They're off the rails. I don't know if you're aware, but Emiazzi Oliver quit.
I heard.
South.
She resigned. She resigned October.
And she was a board member, or did she have
Emma
a
Yahtzee. Remember Emma Yahtzee?
Oh yes. Oh, she really. Mm-hmm. So she resigned.
Yeah. Well, she and Benedetto didn't get along. And then he's got a treasurer who has no clue what to do, and I'm getting text messages and requests for help from both her and Benedetto. And it's not like Benedetto's my favorite person, but you get asked to help him out, you try to help him out, but it's like anything else, you can't be taken advantage of. You have to get people to do their own job.
Right.
You can help them, but you can't do their job for them.
No, that's it. So
okay, I guess we're good then, eh?
We're good. I have nothing, so other than thank you so much. And
one thing, since there's only 3 of us here, how were you planning, or how were you thinking of dealing with the issue of faith-based representative? Because you put that email out.
As it needs to be dealt with. We have a position that has not been there's no performance in the position, and there's a stakeholder base that has been neglected. I mean, places of worship, they have their members, and sometimes that's where they go. Sometimes that's their world, is that location.
My concern is that we have somebody in that position, and I'm not sure how we can deal with that, because I don't think.
Well, we can't, because he's not qualified. He never completed the code of conduct. It's doubtful that he completed the anti-bias,
Okay.
so he's not eligible.
Okay, on that side of it, no, he has not completed the anti-bias yet. Okay,
Or the
on
code
that
of
level,
conduct.
you're absolutely on solid ground in my book. Okay.
Well, we
Yeah.
should, yeah, and I mean that's I'm glad you did point that out, Karen, because I mean he's missing those certs and it's taking him forever to do. But again, to your point, this is a key position, and we do need to reach out to you know, all these organizations and let them know that we're here. And if it means, you know, having them put or us reaching out and saying, hey, why don't you put our contact information on your bulletin? Because, you know, like the Catholic churches, for example, they have a weekly bulletin, so they have a page where we can probably put a little snippet.
They all do.
Yeah,
So,
they all do.
so it's simple, you know, and it's simply just that, calling them and saying, hey, what can we do? Or saying, can any of the board members attend a service and just at least be able to speak and announce and let your congregation know, you know, that we're here. So.
Yeah, because look, we have funds to help if someone has a legitimate need of some kind, but we haven't had anyone to contact them to see if there's a need, and they've been neglected. And I did try, but it's like, face it, look, I don't have an S on my chest. I can't do everything.
No, and that's the point. That's why that position exists, and that's why we need somebody who's going to act on it, be active. So.
Right, and if you recall, Oscar, and Brian, you'll remember too, before I went on my hiatus, I can't believe it's been a year. When I went on my hiatus, I said, when the elections were starting, I said, please do not take on a position you are unable to fill. Leave it so that someone who can actually serve the position. And he went ahead and he, you know, went back and applied for it anyway. And then, you know, I gave him 3 months notice for his trainings. He never did them. And now, you know, they're expired. Now we have this other one, so that's not there. So he's not qualified.
Well, technically, he could be removed from the board by Dunn for taking so long to get any of these trainings done.
Possibly.
Okay, well, you know, I hate to unload on a guy that's 90 years old, but you're right. We have to run the NC. Okay.
Right.
Just curious.
Right. No, but thank you for bringing it up, Ryan. Absolutely, it prepares us for whatever's to come. So.
Sure. Well, I think if we just keep it with the training issue, and just kind of leave it at that, we really don't have to go too far, except to say, the training hasn't been, because the training hasn't been completed, this position is not being served.
Yep.
All right. Well, before we depart, I do see that Mr. and Miss Hales joined. We are done with the meeting. Is there, Mrs. Hales, is there anything that you wanted to share with us? We are done with the meeting.
They're muted.
Okay. Please unmute yourself.
Tell them about the mail.
There we go. Thank you very much. I'm glad we caught. Whoop.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, very good. Thank you. Appreciate that. We're trying to hit as many as we can this week. One of the things that I think we just want to remind everybody, the mail, with the state of California sending out checks, Social Security sending out checks. Not everybody gets checks, but in the mail, if you do not have a locked mailbox, there are crews going around right now between 12 and 3 o'clock a.m. A lot of our neighbors have caught them going up and taking the mail out of the mailboxes. So just as a friendly reminder, if you don't have a lock on your mailbox, set yourself a reminder to go out there at 6 to take your mail up. These people are picking up a lot of checks and things like that, and it's a crying shame. But some of the people just don't know that that's going on.
With the app.
And quickly, you can get an app from the U.S. Post Office that will send you pictures. I've got it. It sends you pictures in the morning, or actually the night before, that of the mail that you're getting. So you actually physically can see the mail coming in.
Our next door neighbor.
And our neighbors have all had valuable items taken from their mailboxes. That was what we wanted to share with you. Thank you for allowing us to do that.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate your time. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. and Mrs. Hales.
All right, then with that, we will adjourn. And thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of the evening.
Have a great evening. Welcome
Take
back.
care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Nice to talk to you. Bye-bye.